Hi, it's Amanda here, Creative Gardener. So, one of the things that I have to deal with here in the garden, Creative Garden, is the slope and soil erosion. And I've been trying to remedy it over time. And I'll just show you some of the methods in which I've tried to use. I've just been doing some more research, so I found some additional methods in which I can use. So, let us go and I'll give you a little walk around. Okay, so this is it. We've got I don't know, it's like at least a 4-foot slope. I don't know, 4 foot up. And let me go up this. And do you know what? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think when it was first done. Was it so? Oh yeah, I think it was actually. The lowest point being the well there. And all the water, we're kind of like sitting in a basin because the next door neighbour's land goes down like that, the land in front of us comes like that, and the house next door, the land slopes, so their water runoff comes to us. And then what would happen is, in a really heavy rain, is and I think this was the guy who built the house, who whether it was naturally created. And there's just so much going on there that I can't even talk about now. Anyway, so the water comes gushing down from his property as it's sloped that way. It comes gushing down here and along here. I've showed this before slightly, but it does look a bit different because I have done some stuff. So it goes down here and into the well there, and it also as it comes down here, it goes under the house, and there's usually at least about, I don't know, a few inches of water where you can see the tyres, the bottom tyres, because I put 2 tyres. The water usually comes up to the bottom tyres, so that's how much water we're dealing with under there. And then there's a little gully just along here where, so it's like meets in 2 places and then goes down into the well. So one of the things that you can do to stop the erosion is actually growing stuff on it. But here, what I've tried to do, because I created the beds, and then it took a while before I understood what was happening, and the water was just running off the beds into the paths that I'd made and down along here. Out here and down this slope down there. As we know, water goes downhill. So some of the things that I've done on the beds is try to build the bed up and try to put stuff there so that it wouldn't take the soil away. The other thing I did, which I showed in a really in my Creating Paths, I'll put a link to that video, is I put down cardboard and shredded paper. So along here I'd had loads of shredded paper, and that stopped and it's disintegrated apart from some of the thicker cardboard. Where I put the shredded paper down, it's actually gone. Yeah, so that would stop it running down some of the paths. But obviously, again, in heavy rain, I'm still kind of having to deal with that, and I've got to do some watering today as well. Anyway, so what I did was put some of these sticks along here, and then I was trying to build up the edges of the beds so that the soil wouldn't run away and it would be retained in the soil. Somebody was saying to me to build a swale. It's just like a 5-foot swale. I can't. I don't know. It's not something I'm going to be doing, so let me see what alternative I can do. So as I said, one of the things is planting on the slope, and I did a bit of that with the so I've planted the Mexican sunflower on the slope. So any water that comes down, some of it will be retained here before it rolls down, and then each bed has got either a tree or some plants in there. for the majority of them. And like places like here, what I wanted to do was to make it a walkway. So I'm going to dig up some of this so it's a bit more flat, and then move what I've dug over here. So there'll be like a mound here, and then I can be growing stuff on there as well. So that will, all I'm doing, I guess, is slowing down the water as it runs. So on this particular one, so a lot of them are like this, some are a bit steeper. What I did was build up the edges. So I've built up this edge, and I've still got a bit more to do. So it's not going to be like I don't have to step over all of them, because all of them were like that. And what I realised is the water, I'm just, again, finding additional paths for the water to flow. So I've got to do that here, build up the edge so that the water stays here and slowly goes down here. This one is a bit better in the sense that it's a lot deeper, and I was doing the same with here. Then the other thing I've done is get, a lot of the twigs, fallen branches, and that again will slow the rate of water, but also stop the topsoil from running away. I've now got an issue here, as we were seeing. Now this wasn't as wide as it is. I'm sure it wasn't as wide as this. Although I haven't moved the tires. So what's happened is where the soil could run down, that's what it's done. So it's made this a lot wider. And I had planted these. This is this plant. So I'd got the seeds and I'd planted them here, thinking, just have a little bush here. But what I'm going to do is those little, I've got some it's a Clitora tennae, and I'm going to plant some along here because it's like a vine, and just get it growing along here so that you've still got where the water can still escape, but the soil is not going to be eroded. I'd love, if you've got any other tips for somebody who's on a really tight budget, if you've got some other tips that you can share with me, I'd be grateful. Like on that side, I've grown the clammer cherry. I've grown one here, and that was really to be more like a fence-like structure, because the dog's been escaping and jumping over, and then my compost bin fell over. I don't know whether the wood rotted, and so what I'm going to do here actually is I want to build a it's called a deadwood fence. So I've got lots of thicker branches that I can put as a post, like you have two posts opposite each other and you go along the length, and then in the middle you put the dead branches. So that's my solution for the fence. And I'll give you one more look at what I've done as well on another slope. So around here, see how dry it is? My plants are really suffering. So around here, again, we've got this really big slope. So what I did was, in one of my videos, I would have shown propagating the aloes, and they need some water, but they'll be okay. The thing that really grows really well is this shack tree. I don't know what its proper name is, but as soon as it lays down its seeds, the root in this is just, there's no way you can get it up. I've been trying, I cut them regularly, but they grow back. So this was a slope, and so what I did here was to dig a hole, quite a big hole, wow, and I put some, it's going to be a slow, I I put some compost material and I've layered it, and then layered it and then put soil over it. But the excess soil, I've moved it to the end here, and I put the bricks here so that, again, water's coming down here and just running down here. So I'm trying to find a way. See my little path here? I'm so pleased. I'm pleased with it. The amount of rocks I had to move, but the rocks seem to just be spewing. Look, just be spewing out of the soil. And look at all of these rocks. This actually came off the land when we got rid of the trees that were here. Were just all like these weedy trees, but the invasive trees. But yeah. So I've just put the rocks, made kind of paths. You know, I've done what I can with what I have. So in this particular spot, I'm hoping that it will slow down the rate of water, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be putting here. I was trying to make kind of curves and circles in spaces, so this actually needs to be changed slightly, made rounder. And then we've got spots like this where around the house we put a mound because we're separating it from the guy who does the organic farming, and so I wanted to have things growing in here. I managed to put all the Mexican sunflower you can see here, and what surprisingly has done well on very little nutrient rich soil is the scaevola. So I've got some more that I'm going to be planting and seeing how they do. They haven't really done well. I put some along here because, again, this is another slope that goes down. There's so many slopes. So I thought to myself, let me try and, again, put some plants here, and we'll stem the rate of the way that the water will flow. And that's the entrance to the secret garden, the entrance to the well. This is a tree that I was most displeased about. The guy who cut my grass, he decided it was growing too big and that he should cut it back. And it's just like, are you going to help me break it down? Did I ask you to? I've told you this before. I've told you this. Did I ask you to? Why did you do that? Because here, it was growing here, yeah? And it was like growing in an arch. And that's the feel I wanted. I wanted this like little arch growing here. And it's just like, oh, it can grow back. It's just like, but it was growing the way I wanted it to. And now you've ruined it. So, yeah. Anyway, but this is a pretty flower. This is the ground, what's it called? What are these? Oh, look. Interesting. I didn't plant them there, but they're growing. I don't know what they are. Some seed that... See all the seeds? See what this breaks open really easy. And then it's full of seeds. And the germination rate is like amazing with these plants. Anyway, so that's the other thing I do. I come out because I'm seeing plants that I never planted, but I want to move because they look so pretty. I want to give them a chance somewhere else. So this is the ivy gourd. You can eat it. And again, that was growing up really nicely, and I was just like, the green one was quite bitter, but I'm sure the red one's a bit more sweeter. But it's got some pretty flowers, so I know that this is going to be filled with a lovely array of the ivy gourd, and I need to cut this back because this will just give me more seeds that I don't want. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to have like a cover in there so that it can be quite dangerous, 100-foot well. But this is one of the ways in which, as I say, you've got quite a large slope. maybe what I do, I'm just thinking, is maybe make it go this way, so that any water that does come down, it's redirected over here. And here what I'm growing is frangipani, and I've got some papaya plants, looking a bit sad there, they need watering. Yeah, so that may be what I need to do. Again, it's just trying to work out how you do it effectively. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. Maybe start up here and take it along here, so that you can't actually walk through here. Or maybe there's a bridge here, I don't know. Trying to work it out. Anyway, so that's what I am going to do. Yeah, I'll just make it go along here. And then you could have a little seat here or something, I don't know. And some flowers. But that's... And then I've got loads of dandelions and loads of recycling that is waiting to go, but okay, with lockdown it's like, yeah. And that's it. So that's really how I've been dealing with the slope. And again, what I've done along here, I'll just stand here, is plant the scaevola along one side. I was going to have it on both sides. What I need to do is just cut some of them back so it's clear, and then plant some along this side like this one. But the dog seems to love jumping over. I need to establish him first. There was one here, and through his jumping he managed to kill it. But that is it. So I hope that's been helpful to someone. And if you've got any tips for me, especially like an area like this, that the rain just keeps washing the thing away down like that. So I don't want that to happen anymore. Okay, so take care for now. Looky. It's waiting to be eaten. Not yet. I need to get it before the birds do. Seem to be picking them out. Anyway, so I hope that's been helpful. Take care for now. See you soon.